From screen test to stardom. You asked for it. Television's greatest all-time request show, brought to you from Hollywood by Skippy, America's largest selling peanut butter. If you like peanuts, you'll like Skippy. And coming in on track 9, here's your host, Art Baker.
Well, this is where we get off. An unusual destination, danger, thrills galore. A Randy Bacon of Sullivan, Missouri, asks for this. He says, "Dear Mr. Baker, there's a woman who walks on a wire blindfolded. Also rides a bicycle 6 stories high without a safety net. It sure would be a thriller, I bet, to see her on your show." Signed, Randy Bacon. Randy, you are right, a thriller indeed. And it brought us to an unusual spot. The world-famous and fabulous Knott's Berry Farm in Buena Park, California. We're here because it offers a perfect bit of weather and an unusual background for this hazardous act way up in the sky. And now I'd like you to have the privilege of meeting one of the most fearless of all lady wire walkers, Malikova. Malikova.
Yes?
We've heard of your reputation. You are of the 8th generation of family of high wire artists. Is that right?
Yes, Mr. Baker, I am. See, my mother was killed from it, and I like to keep up the reputation like my mother.
Well, you certainly are indeed. As a fearless young lady, you use no life net, no safety device. Is that true?
Not whatsoever.
All I can say then is the best of luck to you.
Thank you very much. Okay.
All right, remember, Randy, you asked for it.
This would be the roof of a tall 3-story building. It's over 30 feet in the air. They look rather tiny down there. With market baskets on her feet, which look clumsy. This like a shroud, entirely encased. Wow. From down below, my friends, we didn't feel too good. This little lady is one of the most tremendous balancers. Watch this device. She would have no chance in the world to save herself if she were to lose balance. She rises to the center. what I mean? No chance in the world to catch herself. More perilous descending than going up.
I'll be glad to welcome Malikova back on Earth. Boy, that was colossal, believe me. And a little bit frightening. As I said before, you're a fearless young lady. Congratulations. Thank you for answering this request.
It was a pleasure to do so.
And to you out there, Randy, I want to tell you had us all up in the air with excitement because you asked for it.
These are the kind of peanuts that make you hungry. At least we hope they do. The big fancy kind, fresh out of the roaster. Here is what they look like with the shucks removed. And here they are with the skins or husks taken off. Finally, you have them here chopped into tasty little nuggets, just the right size for the very best eating. Now, you can easily imagine what a delicious treat you'd have if you were to blend these little peanut chunks into creamy-style Skippy Peanut Butter. Well, you can enjoy that happy concoction without having to take the time and effort to buy and chop and mix the peanuts. Because the Skippy folks do it for you, right here in chunk-style Skippy Peanut Butter. Now, in all respects except one, chunk-style Skippy is exactly the same as creamy-style. It gives you the same true peanut flavor, the same easy spreading, the same lasting freshness, but chunk style also gives you the added attraction of crunchy little nuggets of fresh roasted peanuts generously sprinkled throughout the whole jar. It must be good because more people buy chunk style Skippy than all other brands of so-called chunk style peanut butters put together. We hope you'll try it soon. Thank you.
Hurry over here because I promised to reserve this parking place right here for an inventor friend of mine from San Francisco, Mr. Brooks Walker. He'll be right along in a moment here because Mrs. Mary Lowry from Redlands, California asked for it. She said, she's got some clippings with a letter. Says, Dear Art, hail our hero, the man, article enclosed, whose invention will make it easy to park a car in traffic at last. We girls, with a reputation for smashing fenders, ask that he demonstrate his wonderful lifesaver on your show. All right, Mrs. Lowry, you asked for it. And so, yep, here comes Inventor Brooks Walker with his amazing park car. She called Mr. Walker a hero, and you are indeed. I'll tell you, you are a hero, like she said, because you make parking easy, Mr. Walker.
The nice thing, Art, this mechanism that parks a car is very simple and very easy to operate.
But I know we'd like to see just how it does it, could we?
Wouldn't you like to take the car out from the parking
We
place?
do it?
Certainly.
What do I do?
You pull the emergency brake on to unlock the mechanism.
Uh-huh.
Then lower the handle to lower the spare wheel and lower the car. There it is. Take the emergency brake off. The engine raises the car on the spare wheel.
How do you like that?
Then as the car is raised, place it in reverse gear. Swing the car around this way.
Well, say. Well, that is something, believe me.
Wouldn't you like to see how it operates from the inside?
Well, yes.
So if you can raise that handle, it'll raise the spare wheel back up again. The luggage space is larger than normal. Now let me operate it from the inside so you can see how it works.
Oh, fine.
While the engine power is lowering the spare wheel to raise the car, it is automatically connected with the drive shaft, so that low gear swings the car into the curve or around to the right. Reverse gear swings the car around to the left. Your rear wheels are turning, so it stops at any time with your foot brakes. It is also very useful for turning around a half turn to prevent the necessity of backing out a driveway.
Ah, it would also be good for an automatic jack there in case you want to fix a rear wheel or put chains on in cold country, huh?
That is right. So you take the spare tire off first, and then the same mechanism lifts the car after the tire has been removed.
This is what you really call a dream come true. We've thought about it, and now out of your brain has come this invention. I want to thank you very much indeed for answering this request. To you, Mrs. Lowry, back in Redlands there. Take one last look at this amazing park car. You asked for it. Well, you can see how we get a very liberal education here just by reading and trying to answer all of your requests. Nothing happens on the show until you do ask for it, you know. We don't care what it is, who it is, where it is. We'll find it. We'll fly it here on giant 4-engine, 300-mile-per-hour TWA Constellation. That's famous Transworld Airline. And so we'd like to continue our education under your tutelage, if you will, please. When you get an idea, a letter, or a postcard, here is our address. You asked for it. Box 323, Hollywood 28, California. And thank you. Only months ago, this young lady was an unknown. Today, she's one of Hollywood's new motion picture stars. And we follow her spectacular rise of fame because Mrs. Vicki Vale looks at us over KECA TV right here in Los Angeles, asked for it. Zero, dear Mr. Baker, would it be possible to follow a recent discovery from screen test to stardom? I have lived in Los Angeles since 1924, and I'm still wondering just how this is done. Mrs. Vicki Vale. Well, the answer to your request, Mrs. Vale, really actually originated several weeks ago with a phone call from Hugo Haas, producer-director of Columbia Pictures. And he invited us to watch a screen test in operation. And so, Mrs. Vale, that next morning, we were at the studio, Motion Picture Center. Here they're talking it over, Mr. Haas and the cameraman. That's Paul Ivanhoe. The screen test is exciting. And everyone's nervous. The last bit of instruction here. Maybe he's asking her to stand on tiptoes. Aha, that brings her a little bit closer to the leading man. That's Ken Carlton. Who's making the test with her. Yes, and now for the result, the answer to that screen test there. I take great pleasure in presenting to you Mr. Hugo Haas. And our curiosity is really at fever pitch here. Tell us.
To me, screen test is always very exciting. So if you want to watch...
Karen, let's run away tonight. Maybe we can sell some of my jewels. I have an emerald ring, pearls, earrings.
It's not easy to sell jewels. People in villages don't buy such things. Wait a moment. Maybe I can get a hold of some cash tonight. I promise there ain't no. That's an idea.
I'll go home and pack. Well, if we leave after midnight, we can reach the border by morning.
Yes, go home and wait for me.
Oh, Kira. What if we don't get the money?
We'll go anyway.
How can we?
There's plenty of work in the world for everybody. We can get a job on a farm. We can milk cows and plow the fields and help with the harvest.
And love each other.
Well, Art, what do you think of it?
I think that's exciting there, and I can see great possibilities in this Cleo Moore.
So did I, and that's why I signed her for my independent production, Thy Neighbor's Wife.
Uh-huh. Now, from here now, what are the steps, some others to stardom?
Well, there are many steps, but I'll tell you only a few. First of all, the so-called glamour treatment. Of course, Cleo Moore has a lot of personal charm and beauty, so it's not necessary to invent anything, just to emphasize and underline what she already has.
Yeah.
You know? So here you see Cleo Moore being given that extra finesse by studio hairdresser Mary Smith. Well, and then a very important step is, of course, the publicity campaign. Publicity and advertisement to sell the personality of the actress, of the star, to the public as any other product, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, and then, of course, you see here our studio photographer, Pat Kane, taking stills of Cleo Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Dozens and dozens of publicity stills will be taken of Cleo Moore in different costumes and different poses, and thousands of them are being sent to fan magazines and to exhibitors to make her face known to all the people, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, she has to grow intellectually, too. She has to read classics and listen to good music and get used to all kinds of good feelings about art. And then, of course, one thing is very important. She also must develop her body for flexibility and grace to keep in shape.
Mm-hmm.
Then later on, she gets a few smaller and bigger parts, supporting parts, to get used to the technique of acting, and then finally she lands the big part. So I want to show you just a short scene in her latest starring role in One Girl's Confession, a Columbia picture.
All right.
Look how the young oak trees are growing. Isn't it a joy?
It's been about 7 months now, hasn't it?
They'll be big and strong.
How long does it take?
Oh, 2 or 3 years.
I'll still be here. I'll see them.
How much longer do you have to serve?
1,072 days. It's going nicely.
Say, somebody was telling me you've got a lot of money hidden somewhere. You're pretty smart.
Maybe I'm not so smart. All that money just lying there, no interest, no dividends.
How much?
25 grand.
Hey, you're a rich girl. What are you going to do with all the dough?
Oh, I don't know. I change my plans every day. The carnival will be booming when I get out. I want so many things. It'll take a lot of thinking before I get the right idea. But you can bet it'll be the right idea.
So here you are, Mr. Baker, from screen test to stardom.
And that's a very romantic and exciting road there. May I compliment you, sir, not only for being a star maker, but being a very excellent actor yourself.
Thank you.
Mr. Hugo Haas, everyone knows. And Miss Cleo Moore, I think she did a splendid job. We'll look forward to seeing great things.
I think she'll be very happy to hear it from you personally. Cleo, would you meet Mr. Baker?
Oh, Miss Moore.
Mr. Baker.
We were saying nice things about you, and it was very sincere, too. I have a lot of people that I'm allowed to speak for, you know. And we'll all be looking forward to seeing you in a starring role there in One Girl's Secret.
Well, thank you very much, and I hope everyone likes it.
I'm sure they will. With you as star, the combination of that and Hugo Haas here as producer-director, it can't miss. We'll love to see it. Thank you both for answering this very interesting request.
Thank you.
And to you there, Mrs. Vicky Vale, there you are. That's how a star is born. You ask for it.
You know, we're well aware of the fact that children constitute a good share of our audience every week on You Ask For It. And that's fine. We like it that way. We try to make this program genuinely interesting and entertaining and appealing for all members of your family. But I'd like to make it clear that the appeal of Skippy TV snacks, such as I've been talking about recently, is not limited to the youngsters. Even if you're long past the age of yo-yos, you are not past the age of yum-yums. And a Skippy TV snack is a yum-yum of the first water. But seriously, Skippy is the one peanut butter that can honestly claim to be custom-made for grown-up tastes. Grown-ups who ordinarily don't care much for peanut butter do enjoy Skippy. Skippy, with its exclusive patented process, has completely eliminated all the drawbacks that adults find objectionable in peanut butter. Skippy is easy to digest. It never becomes sticky, dry, stale, or rancid. It always stays fresh. And best of all, it does not taste like peanut butter. Skippy does taste exactly like plump, selected, fresh roasted peanuts. So we hope you adults will try the pleasant experiment of having a jar of new improved Skippy peanut butter, a bowl of crackers, and a butter knife close at hand when you watch television. For you'll discover it's true. If you like peanuts, you'll like Skippy.
46, 7, 48, 49. My friends, this is a golden anniversary here. Let me tell you, 50 years ago, a young man began to startle and baffle and amaze the entire world with his wizardry and his legerdemain. And now, today, his very name is magic in the world of magic, the great Dante. Yes. Well, after a long absence from the stage, he returns at the request of Miss Elsie A. Johnson of Jersey City. We have 10 of them left. Dear Mr. Baker, he said, as a follower of magic, I have applauded many fine illusions on your show. I've enjoyed Blackstone's version of sawing a woman in half with a buzzsaw. But now I'm asking for the original illusion that began a new era in magic. The original sawing a woman in half, as created many years ago by the great Dante. Signed, Miss Elsie Johnson. Well, Miss Johnson, for 30 years, yes, indeed, this has been the most talked about, the most imitated of all illusions, but never have they achieved the success of the original. So right now we take great pride in bringing to you the distinguished Dante. You asked for it.
Thank you, Mr. Baker, and I feel highly honored. And now let us proceed with the problems. I should invite one or two gentlemen from the audience to the stage. Anyone may come up. Oh, Mr. Baker, by the way, I'd be delighted to have you, and I'm sure the audience would.
I love it, sir.
Thank you so much. And, sir, would you... Thank you. I'm obliged to you. Bring the serrucho. That's Spanish for saw. Uh-huh. You know a saw when you see one. There it is. Now may I call your attention to the simplicity of the arrangement. A skeleton casket scarcely large enough to accommodate the lady, resting upon a table 4 inches thick. I have pleasure now in introducing the world's foremost lady exponent of the art of illusion, lovely Moya Miller. Miss Miller, do I understand that you release myself and the sponsors of U.S. Sports from any responsibility whatsoever in the event of an accident?
I do.
Then gaze into this crystal ball and think of sleep. And relax. And relax. And relax. And here we have 2 stocks, an opening at each end. One large enough for the hands, Miss Miller, please. And the feet extending at the other end. Yes. And Mr. Baker, could I ask you to fasten this hasp locket securely, please? There she is, locked at the head. Securely. And would you put that on there, the good fellow? That's the idea. Thank you. That is all there is to it. There you have the living feet at one end, the head and hands at the other. Move the feet, please. Move the hands. Mr. Baker, would you hold the lady's hands? Yes. Gently but firmly, I was told. And The feet. Now, you'll understand, gentlemen, should anything unforeseen happen, such as an accident, you're both equally responsible with me. Hold tight. No, the feet, hold them. Very important. Thank you. You didn't tickle her by any chance?
No.
Time we do this. Yeah, cut it too close. Pull out the lower half, please, gently. Better. Thank you. There you have the head and hands at one end, feet at the other. It has been said they use false feet sometimes. Perhaps they do, Mr. Baker. Would you give us your word of honor that that foot is flesh and blood?
That's a real foot.
Move the left foot. Move the right foot. Move both feet. Stop. Mm-hmm. You would. And the young man walks between the boxes, the two halves. Mm-hmm. Right. Pick it off, boys. And swing it around. Move the feet. Mr. Baker, please test the lock and see that it's locked and... Unlock that. Yeah. And I thank you. Thank you. And Mr. Baker, I thank you. There she is. Very much.
Thanks to you, milady. We're glad to see you in one piece. To Dante, many things have been said complimentary to you. I double them, sir. May you continue for years to be the Dean of Magicians. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Baker.
Yes, my friends, we have seen, I think, the most colossal of all illusions with the master of them all, the great Dante. Of course, we'll be waiting for your instructions now. As I say, we get an education. We get amazed once in a while as to exactly what it is that you would like. So when you get the idea, why, send it to us. Here is our address. You asked for it, Box 323, Hollywood 28, California. Now, on behalf of Skippy, America's largest selling peanut butter, just before we say goodbye, here is the bulletin.
Thank you, Art, and here it is. Bulletin wanted. Rudy Dockey, the trainer of 10 boxer dogs who play basketball. A psychologist who's an authority on the popular art of doodling. Peter Van Borden, who plays the Hammond electric organ with his feet. A strong-legged man capable of applying a scissors hold in a sack of flour until it breaks its seams. Wanted motion picture film of the opening of King Tut's tomb. If you know any of these persons or things, wire or write "You Ask For It" in Hollywood at once. Remember, you'll see it here because you asked for it. Portions of this program were on film.
This is ABC Television Network.